Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Desiree, and today we are looking at a case that's still unsolved 13 years later. It's so sad, and we're going to deep dive this case. This will be a series, so make sure whether you're a replay watcher or you're here right now that you do follow along. Make sure you subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss out on all the other episodes that I plan to do on this case. So it's the case of Kyron Horman. We're going to look at all the details in a moment. I just quickly want to start the chat up. Thank you so much, PT Anonymous. You spoil Fury so much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to all my moderators. Thank you so much for being here. Happy belated birthday to Tracy. It was one of our moderators. Maybe you saw it on the community tab. Tracy's birthday yesterday. Tracy is an OG. She was there when there were 18 people in the chat at the beginning of my channel, and she's still with us here, and I'm so honored. So happy birthday to Tracy for yesterday. Of course, welcome to all my patrons and members and all the Papa Grizzlies. Happy Father's Day to all the dads in chat as well, or anyone celebrating with their dads. Lizzie Bones, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Okay, so I can see from the poll I asked, how much do you know about Kyron's case? 18% say a lot, following closely. 32% say a bit, let's deep dive. 40% say never heard of this case. And 10% say heard of it, but never followed. So if you look at that, yeah, we're gonna learn today all about the case. So I'm going to end the poll now. Thank you so much for voting. If you were here early as well, chatting with everyone. Sweet Dreams, thank you for being a member for 8 months. So, I consider this series like trial prep, you know? And you'll see why. I'm like, oh, are you prepping for a trial or what? It's never too late, you know? And yeah, so we'll have a look. I do just want to put it out there that this is Grizzly True Crime, and in the chat, in our community, as you guys know, we keep it grizzly, which means we keep it kind. We don't beef with each other. We don't fight with each other. So please don't battle it out in the chat. This case is one of those, like, imagine, I really hope the Summer Wells case doesn't get to 13 years, but imagine a case that's so high profile, right? A missing child. Everybody wants to find Summer. Everybody wants to find Kyron. And that can cause, you know, over 13 years, a lot of, like, invisible wars and battles and cliques and things. And I'm not here for that. I'm here for Kyron. I'm here for the facts. I'm here for Maptime, document time, bullet points, facts, credible sources. So I'm not here to, like, pick a side or anything like that. I'm here to literally present the facts. You do your own research, make up your own mind what you think about the case, and it's not really about what we think, it's about raising awareness for Kyron. Now, if you see there in the corner, that is a red-eyed tree frog. And Kyron, will see his project that he made the last day that he was seen. You know, before he went missing, he was so excited about his project, which was a red-eyed tree frog project. So I've made this emoji. It's available for all members. If you don't have membership, don't worry. Membership's only $1, but if you don't have it, just use a little frog emoji and then some hearts. You can do a combination like that, because that way we're just showing, it's the point of doing that is to show solidarity, that we are all here for Kyron. Lenny, thank you for being a member for 19 months. Oh my word. Yes, you're also an OG. Okay, let me just quickly do a little bit of hello over here, then we're going to get into it, okay? KJ, thank you so much. You say, you're a blessing, G. I have to say, I honestly prayed for you to take the dive on this. Have a wonderful heart, and you can bring the, or the side eye, the eyeballs needed to get justice for the family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, KJ, and thank you to all you Grizzlies. There's a lot of Grizzlies on Twitter that were tagging me in this case. Like, just tagging me, showing me the flyer, emailing me, and I'm like, whoa, okay, what's going on? Like, what is it? So thank you so much to all of you for making me aware of the case as well. I myself, if I had, voted on the poll, I've heard of the case, but I never deep dived it until now. So, yes. Okay. And let me just see if I missed anyone else. And then we're going to... I'm just chatting now to get us all here. Then I'm going to be deep diving, okay? So you better buckle up. Thank you for sharing the tree frogs. Web Weaver, thank you for your fruit fund. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, so this is the thing. K-Max says, I live between Portland and Roseburg, Oregon. I think about Kyron all the time. At certain exit of the I-5, I always get a weird feeling and think about him. I'm so sorry. Yes, and I understand completely. So now, let's get the presentation ready. And as I say, if you're only joining now, we are going to deep dive the case of Kyron Horman. There will be a live stream today. Now, there will be a members only stream after this, okay? Where we're going to be looking at some text messages and things. Then, tomorrow, there will be another stream, like us, all of us, publicly, where we look at another layer of the case. And so we go. Okay, this case is huge, which you would think. 13 years later, it's like the amount of press conferences, the amount of things. So today, what can you expect from today? We're going to be doing a deep dive on the case, looking at the facts. Today, I'm going to give you a background of who's who, just so that you can visualize it. I'm sure many of us here are visual learners. Who is who, right? There's pictures and bullet points and everything that you love over here usually, right? Then we're going to be looking at video clips as well. Little snippets that I found for you from press conferences, from interviews and things like that. Then we're going to be looking at the Maptime as well. And before I get started, in the description box, all the links are there to follow on social media. Okay, the official links. Make sure you follow the official links, because just like I have impersonators on Twitter and things like that, there are scam accounts out there trying to get you to donate to places that don't exist in this case. So the official ones are in the description box, okay? So, thank you so much. Michelle, you say, I live in Oregon, have tried to find him, looking forward to Maritime. Thanks for bringing this to us. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, let me just remove the little frog. Sorry, froggy. I'll make myself a little bit smaller here. Okay. So this is Kyron. Where is Kyron Horman? This photo was taken on June 4th, 2010. It was the last photo ever taken of Kyron. As we know, and we say in most cases, children don't just vanish, just like, whew, gone. And they actually narrowed it down to like a 10-minute window. We're going to go over everything, but how did he just stand here so excited for his science fair project, and the photo was taken, people saw him there that morning, and then never seen again. Again, we're going to get into all the details. But yes, look at him. He's a true crimer, you guys. He's got his CSI shirt on. We're going to go into why he's got that shirt, why he loves it, but he's a true crimer, just like us. I almost said he's a grizzly, but I can't say that. We don't know if he's a grizzly or not. He's got to choose, I really hope that they find him. There's always hope as well, I like to keep hope alive. What if one day they find him? There's many cases where people go missing for a decade or more, many decades, and they get found, So keep the hope alive as well. So let's move on. Background. Okay. Desiree and Kaine Hormon. That's Kyron Horman's parents, biological parents. They got married in 2000. Their son, Kyron Horman, was born on September 9th, 2002 in Portland, Oregon. 8 months into a pregnancy with Kyron, Desiree and Kaine got divorced. So he had already met Terri, and they were already, there was a bit of infidelity, right? I don't know how else to say it. But yes, so Desiree and Kaine got divorced. They had been granted shared custody of Kyron until 2004. But then, due to kidney failure, which, oh my word, I feel terrible for Desiree. She's been through so much. I mean, wow. She has been through so much in life. Due to kidney failure, she had to temporarily give Kaine full custody as she sought medical assistance in Canada. So, you know how sometimes when you go to the doctor and they just keep on just prescribing you like an antibiotic or just have this. Well, when she went to visit friends in Canada, she saw a doctor there and he said, well, how about we actually get to the source of the problem and not just, patch up the symptoms. And so she was going to move to Canada, and so she had to give up custody temporarily. That was the deal. If I'm missing any messages, I'm very sorry about that. Thank you all for being here. Please like and share. This case can definitely use lots of love. I hope many content creators will be inspired as well to cover the case. 13 years later, yes. But the investigation is very much active and ongoing. Let's look how cute he is, oh my word. So these are his biological parents, okay? We're all following? So, Kaine was 36 years old in 2010, was an engineer for Intel at the company's Jones Farm campus in Hillsborough and needed help to take care of Kyron. He had a very demanding job. Kaine met Terri in April of 2002 when he was still married to Desiree, who was pregnant with Kyron. So we know Kyron was born in September. Kaine met Terri while Desiree was pregnant. And I'm not saying that to throw shade at him or something, even though that's not right. Man, did I see that a lot though when I was a pilot. Oh my word. So many times. I don't know, is that like a dude thing? I hope not. So many times the pilots, when their wife was pregnant, then they stray. Like, don't do that. Be there for your family. Okay, but this is not about that. This is about Kyron. So here we go. He already said he feels really guilty, really terrible. It's kind of like Letitia Stout. Remember the Letitia Stout case? I mean, same. It's the same thing. The story is a lot of similarities, so we can look at that at some point as well. Where Letitia was like enticing Al Stout and he got married to her and then his son disappeared, you know? It feels like that. So, it's actually unbelievable. I've started making a list how many similarities there are. Moving on. So then, Terri and Kaine got married in 2007, and in 2008 they had a daughter of their own. Now I'm calling their daughter Kay. I do know her name, but she's a minor. I'm not going to just put her name out there, even though there are articles, it's publicly available, but I'm going to say Kay, all right? Don't confuse that with Kyron, but Kay, his little sister, half sister, right? Okay, so now you could see a picture of everyone except Tony that we've just discussed. So now let's introduce Tony Young. He is Kyron's stepdad. He is a retired detective now. He was a detective, and he actually kept DNA and fingerprint kits of the kids in a safe at the home, which is so smart, you know, just in case anyone ever goes missing, then you've got everything that the police need right there. I mean, obviously he was a detective, so he knew to do that, but I like learning from every case that I follow and cover, and that's interesting. Yeah, so that is why, and we're going to get into that. Kyron was like, I want to be just like him, he's so cool, and they went to like a forensics exhibit at a museum, and then he got that CSI shirt, and he was just loving the thought of being a detective one day. Then we've got Desiree Young, Kyron's mom. She was a payroll manager at Lithia Motors in Medford, and she also had another son, which is Kyron's half brother, and I'm calling him Q. So that was from her first husband. So she was married to a guy called Gary, then Kaine, and then Tony Young. She's still married to Tony Young. Shout out to Tony. He's always so like quiet at the press conferences, but you can just tell, like, I mean, what a great dad, right? I saw today on the missing Kyron Horman page, there's pictures of him with Kyron, you know, for Father's Day, and saying, we will never give up. And that's what I love about this family in this case. They will never give up. Whoever did whatever messed with the wrong family. They will never, ever give up. I'm amazed at their strength. So then we've got Kaine Horman, Kyron's dad, and he was an Intel engineer. And then we've got Terri Hormon, Kyron's stepmom. She had a bachelor's in education, and she had 2 jobs as a substitute teacher. So we'll get more into that as well, right? It does remind me a little bit of Letitia. Can't help it, okay. Just like really wanted to be a teacher, but they want like a substitute teacher, and said she wanted to be like a special needs teacher, but never quite made it as a teacher, right? So anyway, saying that, okay, then we've got Kyron's half sister Kay, and Terri also had a son of her own from her first marriage, and we're going to call him Jay. So I hope you guys are following. But it's pretty easy. If you need to screenshot it, feel free to. If you share those screenshots, please do tag me, okay? Yes, Judy. So in August of 2004, Desiree went to visit friends in Canada. While she was there, she visited a doctor for kidney infection. After several visits to doctors in Canada, so she went up and down. I mean, even that, I don't like going to the doctor, and I'm always like, no. So even that, when she's like, I need to take my health seriously, and she went to many doctors in her area as well, then she's like, you know what? She visited friends, she went there, she's like, this is so much better. And she went there a few times, then she quit her job and rented out her Portland condo and moved there. Her intention was to take Q and Kyron with her, but their fathers refused. And they kind of worked together. We'll see that now. They kind of worked together and talked to each other. So it was like 2 against 1 at that point, which sucked. Jelly Tot, welcome to membership. We are going to have a members only stream right after the stream as well. So then Kaine drew up a custody agreement, which said that Desiree would share custody when she returned. That was the deal, right? But Gary and Kaine tricked Desiree into an agreement relating to child support. So if the kids stayed with them, they wouldn't have to pay child support. That's better, right? You know. So they worked together, tricked her into this agreement. She then fought for custody, but a female judge said that the boys should rather not be uprooted and should stay with their fathers. This is a side note. I should have said side note. Gary's attorney, his brother-in-law, was arrested in an FBI sting for trying to meet up to have sex with a minor. So that's a side note. Kaine's brother also once upon a time got in trouble for a very similar thing. So Desiree then met Tony Young in 2007 after a 2-year-long custody battle with Kaine and Gary. Tony was a detective in the Medford, Oregon Police Department. All right, let me quickly get to some comments. Corgi Mama says, glad you're covering this case. I live in the area and have wanted this case solved for so long. I'm in the Netherlands and I can feel that. I'm like, oh my word. I can't imagine how you guys feel living there. It is devastating, excruciating. 13 years. I mean, it feels like so close. And it feels like that. Like you are this close, right, to this case being solved. That's how it feels. And all the coverage I've seen, all the credible coverage I've seen says the same thing. I'm like, I can feel it. They all say, I can feel it. This case is going to be solved. And I can feel it. Can you feel it? Unless you don't know anything about the case yet and you're still just here. Okay, learning. But let me know what you think. Okay. Yes, and Tony is a great stepdad. So, Kyron, shame, so sweet. Oh my word, he learned to do his own laundry when he was just 6 years old. And he also washed his own dishes. His mom says that Kyron is very kind, shy, and well-liked. I mean, her emotion is so real and raw at all these press conferences that she's done year after year. And she always talks about Kyron in just the best way. So I think that's very telling as well, is who shows up at the press conferences and who doesn't. Okay, we'll get more into that. Look at the dog as well. So cute. So welcome to all the family watching Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. This is, I've been talking to Stacy from Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. It is amazing that you're here. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the information that you've shared. And I'm so glad that the Grizzlies tagged me in all these tweets and everything, and that we can cover this case, because my word, what a case. You say, I cannot thank you enough. Justice is 100% on the way. I can feel it. I literally get goosebumps. I don't know if you guys call it goosebumps, goose flesh, chicken flesh, goosebumps. I can literally feel it. It's like this close. So I hope that this community can just, stoke that fire. Just reignite that energy. You know, like if someone's running a marathon, at the end, they're very, very tired. You just want to give them some Gatorade right there. I hope we're that Gatorade. Grizzly Gatorade. Yes. Patty Heston, welcome to membership. So make sure you do subscribe to Kyron's World Soldiers. It's a YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos and things on there for you to see as well. And all the links, as I say, are in the description box. All right. So this is an FBI flyer. So in case you wondered, there's always these standard questions, right? That I always used to get covering missing persons cases. Is the FBI involved? Yes. And then we used to ask if a certain professional search group is involved. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they were also involved. I was amazed to see they have an episode on this. They went out there. They searched in the water. The ones that searched for Kylie Rodney. Yes, they searched there as well. They unfortunately didn't find anything except for a very interesting little wagon that they found. That was quite interesting. So check out that episode if you do want to see a blast from the past. Yes. And Paula's like, Grizzly, Gatorade. Yes. Okay. So the FBI has been involved from the get-go. There wasn't an Amber Alert because they couldn't see any signs of an abduction, but the FBI was like on it. Okay. So they also provide these age progression photos. And right now, Kyron would be 20 years old. So it's amazing to see how they do that. I mean, it must be quite weird, for family and friends to see the photos, because Kyron at age 7, and those are the last pictures they have, all those pictures of him, from age 7 and below, that's burned into their minds. So to see these age progression photos must be quite odd, right? But I think it could be helpful, and you just never know. So keep your eyes peeled, okay? So Kyron's, they say, how's the investigation going, right? Is it still active? Yes. Kyron's disappearance continues to have a profound impact on our community, and now internationally. Yes. This is an international audience, but yes, we in the Netherlands, South Africa in the Netherlands. Oh, yes. The case remains open and active. Investigators are using advances in software, digital forensics, and geospatial technology to support and advance their work. In collaboration with our major crimes team partners, the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office and the FBI, detectives are pursuing all legitimate investigative leads and will continue to do so until Kyron is located, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said in a release. That's amazing to hear. So now let's look at the timeline. It's time for a deep dive of this timeline, and I hope you do pay attention, okay? Thursday, June the 3rd, 2010. Let me say hi to Evie. You say love from Iceland. I love Iceland. Never been there, want to go there. Thank you so much. Welcome. Welcome to everyone. You can say where you're from, especially if you are, well, actually just wherever you're watching from, you can say. So, show Kyron, his family and friends lots of love. Share the little emoji, which now you'll see what it's for, right? See this? The red-eyed tree frog project. Kyron made this. I think it's amazing. So Thursday, June 3rd, 2010. Note, Terri, Kyron's, some of them say ex-stepmom, or stepmomster, but, we'll just say stepmom, okay? Kyron's stepmother, Terri, had delivered Kyron and his science project the day before he went missing. That's very important to keep in mind, because people get confused that, she took Kaine, her husband's truck, on Friday to deliver the project, obviously, because she wouldn't normally drive his truck. So why was she driving his truck that day? And then people go, oh yeah, to deliver the project. But that was done the day before. I did dig deep. I've been down this rabbit hole, you guys, for a while. I've been working on this for a while. Almost a month, actually. The whole time in this rabbit hole, just like, okay, wait, what? And just digging out as much as possible. And what I found was she did use, from everything I've seen, the truck this day as well. And in my opinion, based on everything I know, the whole picture now, that was quite calculated. One would describe Terri as very calculated. You'll see why. Not just with this, I mean, her whole life, like if you look at the whole picture. And we'll deep dive more and more as we go along. So now, June 4th, 2010. So just so you know, the projects were delivered on the Thursday, okay? All the kids were like, yay for the science fair exhibits and everything on the Thursday, but it was family day on Friday. So family could come through between 8 and 10 and see all these wonderful science fair exhibits. Okay, so timeline, June 4th, 2010. School was about to break for the summer, and the science fair was a great finale to the school year. Kyron was especially excited for the summer because he planned to spend as much time as possible with his mother, Desiree, who lived about 4 hours away. Here and there, I'm going to insert little things I know. I've also listened to and would recommend a book called Boy Missing by Rebecca Morris. I've also put that in the description box. I got the audiobook. I got the Kindle book as well. I like to listen and read and everything all at the same time, get all the details. And there's a lot of details shared in there. And for example, one thing that I had read or seen somewhere, I don't know if it was from the book exactly, but one of the sources said that there was a time where it was like a family dinner, but blended family, right? So it's the two, it's Desiree and Tony and Kaine and Terri and the kids. And Terri said to Kyron, do you want mom to take you to the bathroom? And then she looks at Desiree. she grabs Kyron's hand. She says, okay, I'll take you. So she always wanted to fight for this like mom title. Like, I'm the mom. He's my son. But okay, he's Desiree's son. Just respect that. Like, have some freaking boundaries, right? You can step up as a stepmom if you want, but Desiree is his mom. And don't get it twisted that Desiree in any way neglected him. She went to Canada to sort out her health problems so she could stay alive for her kids. Her kids are her entire world. If you doubt anything, just watch all the press conferences. You'll see it right there. We'll see some clips, right? So anyway, moving on. So Kyron was excited for the summer because he planned to spend as much time as possible with his mother Desiree, who lived about 4 hours away. He loved going fishing and camping with his stepdad, Detective Tony Young, and was excited to see his best friend Mason. He was proudly wearing his CSI shirt. He wanted to be a detective, like his stepdad Tony. He got the shirt in the fall of 2009 at a forensics exhibit at the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry. Kyron worked very hard on his science project, which was about red-eyed tree frogs and how they avoid predators. Now, how sad is that as an analogy that he went missing right after making this project, knowing how the tree frogs avoid predators, and then, you know what I mean, like he went missing. Like, that is just horrible. I've also heard that, you know, there's many scenarios when anyone goes missing, and Terri, the stepmom, came up with some interesting ones that remind me of Letitia. Again, I can't help it because we had Eduardo and this one and that one. We're not going to go over the Tiggy one. You know, all of this happened. But the thing is, here she said, well, the day before, there was a weird, sus-looking dude in a white truck at a gas station. Yeah, he was sus. And he was asking, where's the nearest school? Because, sure, where's the nearest school? And then she just, did you direct him to it? Number 1. 2, she's like, the janitor. He's so sus. Janitor is sus. Then she said, maybe Kyron left by himself to explore some, like, horse stables. Or he went outside to look for red tree frogs to add to his diorama. Like, how does that even make sense? Don't touch red-eyed tree frogs. I think they're pretty toxic. Don't touch colorful frogs. That's all I know. That's all I learned, okay? But these frogs, like when they're super colorful and you're like, ooh, so pretty, don't touch them. As a kid, I loved frogs. I loved bullfrogs. I just love all kind of frogs. And I'm one of those weirdos that like to pick them up and be like, yay! Like, so, yeah, but the colorful ones, don't touch them. So how weird to say, maybe Kyron just walked out by himself to go and look for red-eyed tree frogs. Like, sure. Okay. And then add it to what? How? How is he going to add that to exhibit? It makes no sense. Okay. So then, the CSI t-shirt. Terri also made a comment, the stepmom. Isn't it interesting to Desiree? She's a little bit cruel, you know what I mean? I just feel those little digs. I feel it. Okay? I feel it in my bones. Little digs that she makes at Desiree. I'm like, isn't it interesting that he wore that shirt? And the last time he was seen, like, oh wow, you know, it's got like the DNA and the like the handprint and CSI and everything, all true crimey. Wow. Okay, so let me make this bigger so you can really see this picture. Look at him. Shame. He's so cute, and that project is so nice. So welcome everyone. Let me just hear. If you can hear my fan, I'm very sorry about that. It's just very hot, okay? So it might take a little bit, but it's okay. Okay, yeah, you say yes, very poisonous. Now, Terri appeared on a show, which triggers some people if I say that doctor's name. Don't be triggered, okay? But she said it was a normal day, nothing out of the ordinary. Like, yeah, right, it was the science fair. There were like 300 to 400 people buzzing around. This was anything but a normal day, nothing out of the ordinary. This was a very exciting day, like a week before the summer break, a week before the school year ends, buzzing with activity. A normal day, parents would have to sign in and sign out, especially if you want to take your kid out, for example, a doctor's appointment, you'd have to sign them out, you know? And Terri said that on that show. Like, well, I wouldn't just like, what do you mean? Like, I could have taken him because you have to sign him out. Except on that day, because the capacity in that school, everyone, 300 to 400 people buzzing around, kids and their parents and everyone excited, moving from the top floor to the bottom floor of the school to look at all these exhibits. Yes? So then, listen to this. And these are all facts, okay? Instead of taking the bus to school that day, One would think, okay, by the way, after 13 years, you can easily distinguish what's fact and what's not. And if there's anything that's speculative or rumor, I'll tell you. Okay, instead of taking the bus to school that day, Terri took Kyron to school. And unusually, she decided to take him to school in Kaine's white Ford F250 truck, instead of her candy apple red Ford Mustang GT that Kaine had bought for her on Mother's Day. So, yes. So, interesting, right? Because there was no reason to do that. The day before, she'd already taken him and his project. The project was safely there. He could go on the school bus as per normal on that day. But this day, she decides, thank you, Alina, for your sticker. This day, she decides, I'm going to take him in my husband's car. There's no reason to take him in Kaine's car. He can go on the bus or take him in your own car. But here we go again. It's like the Tiggy one, you guys. I'm telling you now. Why are you doing a musical sus bus? Terri, Kyron, and Terri's 19-month-old daughter arrived at the school sometime after 8 a.m. The science fair was from 8 to 10 a.m. Okay? At 8:45 a.m., note the time, the students, the instruction, the plan was that the students would go to their classrooms, divide into groups, and then go with adult chaperones to tour the other classrooms. Classroom 213. Terri took a picture of Kyron in front of his science fair project and then dropped off his jacket and backpack. Very important, because by the end of the day that evening, she was already washing that jacket and backpack. What's the first thing you do if a kid goes missing? I know, wash off any scent of him. And don't get me wrong, don't say she didn't know. She loves crime novels, okay? She loves crime mysteries. She watches Dexter. In fact, all 4 of the blended family parents love Dexter, okay? She knows her true crime. She even wanted to change her name to Claire Sullivan. Legally change her name from all the heat that she got from this case, all the red flags. She's got a whole red flag farm all around her, and it's unavoidable. She wanted to change her name, and the judge said no. And what did she want to change it to? Claire Sullivan. What is Claire Sullivan? A character from one of her favorite murder mystery novels. Man, not appropriate, lady. Pick another one. Okay, so then, yeah, why would she do the laundry at night? Okay, so at 8:45, note the time. This is the plan of the school. All the kids are going to now divide into groups. This is what's happening. It's getting organized. Then they're going to be chaperoned, by an adult to look at all the things. Classroom 213, in that interview that I've seen, which we'll look at tomorrow, we'll listen to it. Copyright-wise, I don't think we can look at it. But I will link the full thing below, okay? But tomorrow, we'll just listen to everything, because it's very important to hear all that. And she kind of botches the classroom number as well. That was weird, okay? And then when the host says, well, what do you mean? It's not classroom 209. It's actually 213. It's like right at the end of the hallway. And that's what Desiree says and Kaine says. Then she says, well, they're not at the school. They didn't take him to school. They don't know. Like, oh, just throw them under the bus. Okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, Terri took a picture of Kyron in front of his science fair project and then dropped off his jacket and backpack. His friends, Carson, now I don't know if these names have been changed, because in the book some of the names have been changed to protect the minors, but here they said his friends Carson, Tanner, Curtis, and Ellie saw him, as did Ellie's mother, Alice. Terri and Kyron went downstairs to see his kindergarten and first grade teacher, Scott Macbeth's classroom, and then went back upstairs, but they used different staircases. I also find that a bit odd. Maybe it's not odd, maybe that's one of the things that's not odd. But she's like, oh no, I've got like the baby, So, the 19-month-old, right? So, I'm carrying her. I'll meet you upstairs again. It just sounds odd how she describes her. He's running up one set of stairs. She's running up the other set of stairs. And then she just watches him go. She just watches him go to his classroom. And the last thing she remembers is seeing the back of his head. Okay. So, yes. That's what happened there. Kyron's friend, Tanner, said that he passed him on the stairs at the front entrance, while Terri says that she stood at the top of the stairs at the east end of the hallway by the gym, waving at Kyron. What, waving at the back of his head? Cool. Okay. So, hold on 1 second. Okay. Stephanie R says she took him in the truck because of the science fair project. Couldn't know. Well, that's the thing. I hope I've cleared that up. You see what I mean? With the whole, why did she take the truck? That's what people say. That's the narrative that's out there. She obviously took him because of the science fair project. No, that was the day before. That's why she took him in the truck the day before. There was no reason to on June the 4th. I hope you guys are going to get all the facts. Okay. So, the friends remember seeing him. So, Kyron was at school that day. The picture was time-stamped, and it's been proven it was taken that day. But after 8:45, nobody sees Kyron again. And I find the time interesting. You see, if someone was going to take him or lead him away or leave with him or whatever it is, right? Interesting time, 8:45, when everybody's now getting organized. And we're going to get into what was said, right? Now let's first look at this map of Skyline Elementary. It's a different kind of map time. Okay. So, map of Skyline Elementary. You can see the school from above, the layout, and where the penny is there, it says Terri last sees Kyron, 8:45, front door, south entrance. There's that other east stairwell, where she makes like, he went up one staircase, she went up one, and then his classroom is listed there, but apparently it's in the corner here. So she says she just looked straight down the hallway, and she could see him. But I think this is a stairwell as well. So if he was going to go in here, I'm not sure if you would see him. Desiree said that was the first red flag for her. Desiree is Kyron's mother. Saying that, why is she lying about where she saw him and where his classroom is and all that? Right? Yes, teacher, it's diagram map time. So, yes. You see this? Let's go look at another one. Here's another one. So you could see from Google Maps, the school. I like to see it like this as well. I don't know if it helps you. It helps me to be like, wait, what are we looking at? So there you could see where Terri was, where Kyron was, and that map. Right? Okay. And also, yes, if anyone's asking, well, what about using the truck to bring the project home? Well, firstly, he was supposed to come home on the bus, and we're going to get to that because she was waiting at the bus stop, right? But secondly, the projects were going to stay there for a week. They were going to stay at the school for another week, so there was no reason to even go back that afternoon with the truck or whatever it was, right? Okay. So, again, I hope you're following. Please like, share, hashtag Kyron Horman, hashtag Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. All right. Now, 8:45 a.m. Terri said that she saw Kyron walking down the hallway to his classroom. She was confirmed as the last person to see Kyron. A lot of people still debate this. But when literally the FBI, law enforcement, everyone that was there, everyone's been cleared, everyone's been questioned for 13 years. Yeah, she was the last confirmed person to see Kyron. Because initially there were some rumors that, like, what if maybe some people saw him after 8:45. That was all cleared up. So they say, there's one new piece of information. Terri is the last known person to have seen him before he disappeared. Multnomah County Sheriff's Captain Jason Gates said, contrary to previous reports of someone else who might have seen the boy afterward. Thank you so much, Copper Horse. Yes, that's it. Kyron Horman and Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. All right. And you can also say find Kyron or find Kyron Horman. So here they say, the bombshell was that Kyron was seen leaving the school with Terri. The MCSO had said it a couple of weeks before and then retracted it. Now it was confirmed. Kyron's regular bus driver, plus Kyron's friend Carson and Carson's sister and grandmother had all seen Kyron leaving the school on June 4th with Terri. It was true. Kyron, Kayla, and Terri had walked through the parking lot at 8:50 a.m. on June 4th. Now you might be wondering, where am I getting all these little snippets? I got all my sources. I didn't list them all in the description box. I got them all if you've got questions, if you want to email me, because there's millions, hundreds of source links. Most of these articles are from OregonLive.com, I think it's called. Let me just quickly see. Yeah, OregonLive.com. Okay, so then, and obviously vetted by who I'm in contact with, right? spokesperson for the family, gathering all the info, talking on social media still about the case and doing a brilliant job. So you could see it was true. Kyron, Kayla, Terri had walked through the parking lot at 8:50 a.m. on June the 4th. They were not holding hands, the bus driver said, but they were walking together. Terri had not parked in the school parking lot. And you'll see, she parks far away, not like the other parents. This day she's parking not where she might usually park, or just oddly, like away. And then also at the store she goes to, parking far away. It's a little bit odd. And the oddities start adding up. That's the problem, right? Okay. So then, Terri had not parked there when she said she had. Okay, Terri had not parked in the school parking lot where she said she had. Okay. But on a gravel road. That's another one. It wasn't even in the parking lot. They say it was on a gravel road. We'll look at photos. On the far west side of the school, where the elevation of the school building and grounds partly concealed the white truck. Terri's. Now here's interesting. Everything to me is interesting in this case. Terri's red Mustang had been spotted along the roads of northwest Portland in the days leading up to Kyron's disappearance. When we do map time, pin that in your mind. Terri's red Mustang had been spotted along the roads of northwest Portland in the days leading up to Kyron's disappearance. Where the police asked Terri, this is now an excerpt from the book. The book is called Boy Missing. It's in my description box by Rebecca Morris. Rebecca Morris worked very closely with Desiree in order to get the most credible information to write the book. And there's a lot of information in there. I would highly recommend it. So, where the police asked Terri, where'd she been between the time that she said she left the dry cleaners around 9:50 a.m., we'll get into that, and her stop at the gym? Well, she said she was driving around the hilly roads trying to get Kayla to nap. So, after this slide, we'll get into like what happens after 8:45. But just keep this in mind. She's like, well, I just drove around. I went here, here, and here. Then I just drove around because her 19-month-old was apparently struggling with an ear infection. Now, I've struggled a lot with ear infections in my childhood. I had the grommets and everything. I even had major ear operations. I went deaf for 2 years. I know all about ear infections. So if you're going to, be in the back of a car driving around for like an hour and a half and you think that might soothe you, and the next minute you're being put in the daycare at a gym, yeah, that's not going to work out. That doesn't sound like what one would do if a child really has an ear infection, right? Anyway, so they say the child was cranky and fighting an ear infection. The truck was seen pulled over on a fire trail off Newbury Road. Terri told police that she might have been changing a diaper. Where was the diaper? She didn't remember what she'd done with it. It's one of those. Yeah, Aaron says he was seen in the science fair area, but not in the classroom. Exactly. Thank you. Okay, so we move on. Welcome Rainbow Rising to membership. Now, before anyone supporting Terri, which I just find a little odd, but okay, it happens in every case. I put that there because she said it herself in her text messages to someone who she was flirting with, one of her husband's friends. And she wrote, "Imagine the redhead with a halo in the horns and a smile. That's me." That's why I have that. Okay. And when we have a members only stream right after this, we're going to look at those text messages. And don't worry, I will either make a separate video, depends how snarky we get, because some of it is like, wait, what? Or we can discuss it tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But I'm definitely going to be doing that after this. I want to show you guys those text messages. Okay, so you'll find out now who it is in a moment. A few slides down. Okay, so clearly even the school children were aware that he was going to the doctor that day, and they expected him to be at the doctor that day. So now after the fact to say, I didn't know it was that day, it was another day. It is weak. Former homicide detective C.W. Jensen said. Now what's that all about? Terri had told Kyron's teacher that he had a doctor's appointment on Friday. Now, any normal person, it was a few days leading up to, this Friday, would think, oh, he's got a doctor's appointment on Friday. So it's kind of like he's got a doctor's appointment on Friday. And friends of Kyron's weren't alarmed that he wasn't at school, like that he left, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, Mom, he went to the doctor. Kids talk, right? So Double Z, I always share the replay on Patreon. It's very complicated to do live streams on Patreon and combine it all that with notifications. So if you are on Patreon, please check some previous posts. As I explained it there, but I will post it afterwards. Okay, so she said, oh, you're going to the doctor on Friday, but now she kind of backpedals and says, no, man, it was for the next Friday. And she also at some point threw in that the doctor's appointment was for her daughter. So there's this very strange doctor's appointment on a Friday, which kind of puts everyone at ease and buys her a lot of time. That's a speculation. Speculatively, it buys her a lot of time because people are thinking, oh, there's no alarm, and he was marked absent that day. Why? Because the teacher was like, oh yeah, he's going to the doctor. Okay, cool. That's what the teacher understood, right? Liz, welcome to membership. So at 9 a.m., Terri says that she arrived at a Fred Meyer's store in Hillsborough. And she bought something at 9:12 a.m. and then video captured her leaving. We'll do some map time so you can see all this, right? From 9:30 to 9:40. She was spotted at another Fred Meyer. Okay, so she went to the first store. She was looking for apparently Tylenol for her daughter with an earache. I don't know if Tylenol works, but I read Tylenol. And so the thing is, looking for medicine, right? She's like, they're all out of stock of this, so I gotta go to another one. That could have happened, but okay. Went to another one. Okay. And then she was spotted at the store by Andrea Leckie, who said the conversation was odd. They knew each other from the gym, but in all the times they'd seen each other, it was like, hi, bye. They don't, they have their usual conversations. You know what I mean? And so here, Terri was like, look. This is a photo of Kyron in front of his science project. Terri dropped off 2 shirts at Magic Cleaners. The owner, Sherry, said that she was alone, but that's one report. The book says the owner doesn't really remember seeing her. This one's a little vague to me because I see many different reports. Okay. But anyway, so Duck says Google searches. Well, we hope with lots of technology. Between all the burner phones she had as well, because she did have burner phones too after he went missing. Yes, indeed. We hope that they find some, Google searches. Anyway, so moving on. So this friend, the acquaintance who knew from the gym was like, that's so odd that she's like, look, this is a photo. You see him? Science fair. So proud of him, right? Now, devil's advocate, could it just be that she really was just so proud of him that day? Sure. Yes, it could be indeed. We've got to look at the whole picture. A cluster, right? A cluster of red flags, not just one. Unfortunately, there is quite a cluster here. And I wouldn't just be like presenting, this is a red flag. If it wasn't, it really just is. If you deep dive this case yourself, you can make up your own mind though. If you don't see it, no, okay. So, at 9:50 a.m., Terri said that she then shopped at Michael's craft store. And then at 10 a.m., you see Kyron was marked absent by his teacher. She says that Terri told her before June 4th that Kyron had a doctor's appointment on Friday. His friends were also aware of the doctor's appointment, which is why the quote on top comes in. Okay. So then, should I say trigger warning for the picture? Note. Dede Spicher. Some people say Spicher. That's a very German surname. But anyway, one of Terri's friends, I believe Terri's also a little bit Irish. She said sometimes the Irish side of her comes out. Was missing but unaccounted for. So not missing, but she was unaccounted for from her gardening job from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you need to first know that while we're now going to go over the timeline. So we got the 8:45, we got what happened, everything up to this point at 9:40-ish, right? So this friend of Terri's, Dede, was unaccounted for at her job, a gardening job, like on a farm, between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Now, some have narrowed that down. Some say between 11:15 and 1. But loosely, 10 to 1. Okay? Co-workers see this. They say co-workers say she left abruptly at 11:30 a.m. and she returned 90 minutes later. So, where was Terri between the time when her friend was now unaccounted for at work? And we'll look at the map to see if it's even possibly plausible that she even met up with her friend the day or not, right? T3 says, don't associate Irish anything with that. Okay, so 9:40 to 11:39 a.m. Terri says she drove around, it's quite a while, right? But to soothe her daughter, who had an earache. At 11:39 a.m., she says she arrives at the gym and puts her daughter in the daycare for 15 minutes. But in other stories, she says she was at the gym for an hour. Sometimes she says 22 minutes. Also, the gym, if you look at my little screenshot from the right there, says the gym clocked her in at 12:20 p.m. So already that's a bit of a mess. You know, her timeline. Okay, so 11:39. She says she arrives at the gym, puts her daughter in the daycare for 15 minutes. She says she left the gym at 12:20 a.m. unconfirmed. Oh, p.m., sorry. 12:20 p.m. Unconfirmed because the gym's also saying that's when she clocked in. Now, where the police asked Terri, where'd she been? We already read through this one. That the child was cranky, fighting an ear infection. The truck was seen pulled over on a fire trail off at Newbury Road. Terri told police she might have been changing a diaper. Where was this diaper? She didn't know. So then Terri seems to fudge the time. This is from the book. Boy Missing is the book there. She seemed to fudge the time that she arrived at 24-hour fitness. She said she'd arrived at 11:39, but the gym clocked her in at 12:20. She left Kayla at the childcare center for a few minutes and then left at 12:42 p.m. Not having worked out and having spent the 20 minutes chatting up a woman whom she had never talked to much. I mean, okay. So you went there to work out with your child that's got the ear infection, where you need the medication, drove around for all that time, you're going to put her in the daycare, and then not work out and chat to a woman you've never spoken much to before. Terri, it can happen, okay? It can happen. I will say, devil's advocate again, it can happen. But all these things are starting to add up, and it's a little weird. Jennifer, Casino, thank you so much for your $5 super sticker. That's so cute. So then, not having worked out. Okay, Terri made sure to show people at the gym the photo she'd taken of Kyron that morning. She complained to one woman about how demanding parenting was and said she'd had to cancel her own plans in order to take her stepson to his science fair. Yes, it's a little hard in this case to not just say what we're all thinking, huh? What most of us might be thinking, because I'm just thinking in many true crime cases, this sounds a lot like alibi talk, you know, speculatively. Now, in my opinion, it sounds like, wow, you went here and here and here and here. It just seems like alibi talk, I'm just saying. Okay, moving on. Yes, Trinity, exactly. Now, Terri says she arrived home around 12:45 p.m. This is still June the 4th, okay, 2010. So if you're only joining the stream now, hope you'll check out from the beginning to understand all of this, because you're going to need this for tomorrow and for future episodes. At 1:21 p.m., what does she do? She gets home, she uploads photos of Kyron onto her Facebook account. And then what does she do? 1:24 p.m., she emails Desiree, Kyron's mother, to tell her that she uploaded the photo. Like on this day, she's really like, you see this photo? Which is now... And she called it the infamous photo that she took when she was on a show being interviewed years later. But anyway, she's like, okay, Desiree, I uploaded a photo. I'm showing everyone at the gym. You see that? Showing people at bumping. You see this photo? Gets home, puts it on Facebook. Hey, Desiree, I just uploaded a picture to Facebook. Do you see that? And Desiree's like, what? So... At 1:26 p.m., she emails Desiree again, telling her about a school t-shirt order and then confirming summer plans. Okay. I'm going to say, so smart, right? To be like, let's talk about future plans. It's like, be cool, act normal. Just talk about future plans. T-shirts, and 2 minutes later, I mean, you could. You guys know I don't like admin, okay? Even though I like presentations, I don't like admin. And if someone were to email me at 1:24 and then again 2 minutes later to add a one-liner, it's so annoying. Just put it all in one email. Think before you click send, right? Anyway, so then she emails again to tell her that, okay? This was not the norm. Now listen to this. Desiree said that her and Terri, because of boundaries, Desiree wasn't the biggest fan of her, but she was trying her very best, right? Because it's now a blended family, and it's like, okay, this is who her ex-husband is married. They've got their own child together. The shared custody, cool. Desiree's being very nice. And she's like, but we need boundaries, which I think is amazing. And she says to Terri, let's make a system. All the photos, okay? When we're going to exchange photos, just load the photos all on a flash drive. And then when Kyron is going to go visit Desiree, for instance, that flash drive goes in his backpack. He arrives at Desiree's house, his mother's house, and she gets the flash drive, and then she can just look at all the photos. instead of this back and forth the whole time, right? So this is a system that they'd already developed, and it's been going for a while. So why on this day is it like, hey, I just uploaded it. You see this picture? I uploaded it. It's like she couldn't help herself. And this is where people sometimes we see in cases just can't help themselves, you know. Code Gray up in here. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Okay. And by the way, I just want to put it out there that I don't only read super chats on my channel. They're just really colorful and I see them while I'm concentrating here. I'm looking at all your messages. I just also want to get through all of this, okay? Especially also for some replay watchers instead of us talking all the time, right? But I do look and I always watch the live stream replays, and I love reading your chats to see what you all thought throughout all of this. To see, are we on the same page, right? Oh no, Caroline, don't do that. You're going to go in the spam box. Some people get a star. They are favorite emailers. Others go to spam. They are very naughty. Okay, so moving on. This was not the norm, okay? At 3:30 p.m., Terri, Kaine, and their daughter... Now I'm losing my voice. Hold on. Okay. Is my voice back? A lot of talking. At 3:30 p.m., Terri, Kaine, and their daughter go to the bus stop to wait for Kyron. Now, I want to know if that was normal. Is that a normal thing to do, that they like, oh, let's all go wait for him on a Friday? Or did Terri say, you know, he was so excited and I'm so proud of him with his science project, let's all go wait at the bus stop? You know what I mean? Like to take the hubby along too, and the daughter, and everyone stand there in anticipation. It's interesting. Rowan, it's because they don't have solid proof. They can't pack it up, you know. It can't be another Casey Anthony type thing. We're going to get to that. Okay. At 3... Wait. So they go to the bus stop, right? The bus driver says that the school marked him as absent and Kyron was not on the bus. What do? They start driving to the school. Now, at that point, I understand you want to drive to the school and be like, what the hell? But they've just said, the bus driver said, Kyron was marked absent all day. He's not on the bus. So Terri and Kaine are like, let's get in the car and go to the school. But on the way, can't you make a call? But you see, they didn't. Like, Terri didn't call. She showed the photo all day long. I just feel like then if you're really so maternal, just freaking call 911. But anyway, they didn't. At 3:56 p.m., the Skyline school secretary calls 911 to report Kyron missing. So I always find that interesting. Who called to report the person missing as well, you know? I mean, sometimes it's obvious. And other times, like, that's odd that you know, they didn't call. But thank you so much, Deadly Angel, for your $2 super chat. Yes, Debbie, you are right. We went over that. Okay, and thank you for sharing the little tree frogs. If you don't know what that's all about, I hope you'll go back to the beginning. But we're sharing it to show support for Kyron and his loved ones, because his project was about red-eyed tree frogs, which is a pretty cool project, and it looked really great. So we're sharing that for Kyron. So then at 4:24 p.m., the school secretary calls Desiree. Now, to me, that's like, okay, Terri and Kaine, you did not call 911, right? But now you also did not call his mother. So the secretary called 911, and the secretary called Desiree. At 4:26 p.m., Desiree then calls Terri to find out what's going on and tells her that she's coming to Portland. Terri sounded surprised. Again, my apologies for the reference the whole time, but that case is very fresh in my mind. We just looked at that, okay? Letitia stuff. It's kind of like, whoa, you're coming over? Remember when Landon was like, I'm on my way? Because that's generally what mothers do. Okay? But in this case, she was like, oh, really? Like, oh, wow, you're coming over? Okay. So, I mean, why are you surprised? Of course. Okay. At 4:33 p.m., officers arrived at the school and at Kaine's home. At 8 p.m., searchers arrive at the school. And at 8:30 p.m., the FBI are notified. At 9:38 p.m., Desiree and Tony arrive at Kaine's house. They took that long drive. Desiree and Tony. Kyron's mom and stepdad. Tony, the detective dude, right? They drive through and arrive at Kaine's house. When they are there, let me just see what it says on the next slide. Oh, yeah. So I have to say it here. When they arrive, Terri is upbeat, you guys. She's like, welcome. It's almost like, welcome to my humble abode. Would you like some tuna casserole? A little bit of coffee cake? Can I fix you a drink? Like, what would you like? I mean, now we're being the best hostess in the situation. And they all felt a little odd about it. So they're like, whoa, she's very upbeat. Why are you so upbeat, lady? You know? And I know people would say, well, people deal with trauma in different ways. I understand. But that was a little bit odd. A little too happy for the situation. And just like, I think maybe it's just like, it could also just be an overachiever moment of like, okay. I'm going to be the best host now. I'm just going to be feeding everyone and like, welcome. And let's all just talk about this. And also, when they said later that the detectives were like, look, man, we're going to have to look at all your cell phones, your social media, your everything. Everybody, 3 out of the 4 parents were fine with that except one. And that one was Terri. She was like, no way, hell no. All of them took polygraph tests. All of them passed except Terri. She failed one, walked out of one, and failed another one. So that's also interesting. Because the argument in favor of Terri is always, well, it's not admissible in court. It's just, you know, a polygraph test. At least it wasn't fakepolygraph.com, you know. But they would say it's not admissible in court, so what does it matter? It's just strange that 3 of them passed and 1 of them didn't. And the one failed, walked out of one, failed again. Interesting. Janae, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Oh man, Lily Black says, I hope she does not serve him a Moscow mule, right? Yeah, Wildfire says they deal with it differently, but they're always sad, right? Yeah, sad, anxious. And there's no anxiety that they reported there. So, anyway, so there's that. Okay, so we carry on. Yes. Rochelle said Letitia was in January 2020, so way after this boy went missing. Yes. PT, that's fine. Coffee. But upbeat. I don't know if you would be upbeat in the situation. If you would, that's okay. But I'm just saying, like in this situation, there's not even guilt. That is, they don't describe like guilt, anxiety, sadness. It's just like, oh hey, like as if it's like a dinner party now, you know? So then, what was really interesting in this investigation is say, okay, the flyer on the top, I wrote this out for you because it's too tiny to see there, but they made this flyer, the police. They said, on Friday, June 4th, 2010, Skyline School student Kyron Horman went missing. As part of the investigation, residents of your area are being asked if they noticed any of the people or the vehicle below on that day between 9:45 and 1 p.m. Please take a few moments to review the photos below and complete the attached flyer. What's on the flyer? Well, we have a white Ford F250 truck. Now it's reminding us of the white Elantra days. I'm like, why? All these white cars, right? Okay, and then we've got pictures of Terri and then pictures of her friend, Dede. That was a huge moment in the case of like, wait, what? Not only are people thinking, damn, this is a red flag, what was going on there? So Kyron went missing, and in the same time frame, Dede is unaccounted for at her job on a farm. And Terri, her timeline is not adding up in all that same time. That's what's weird about it, right? Okay, yes, and Ring doorbells have changed the world, says Paige. So that happened in August of 2010. They said every resident is asked to fill out a form individually. If you are not completing this in the presence of representatives from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, please return the stamped envelope included. Thank you for your time and cooperation. Now look how the car was parked, apparently that day. You know, not in the normal school parking. And we'll do some map time so you can see where that is. It's so weird. Like if you just back it up a little bit, the parking is backwards and turning right. Okay, we'll look at it. But like, what? Oh man. So this is already a red flag. Explain this. Why are you parked there? Why are you using this car on the 4th of June? 2010, when you already took the project the day before, and you're not bringing the project back either. That's staying there for a week. So why are you in this car? And why are you parked there? It's weird. Okay. And so we carry on. Terri, Dede, they're looking for information. So to this day, if you have any information, all the numbers and everything, links, numbers, it's all in the description box below for you. Because you just never know. You just never know. And that's the reason of raising awareness in cases like this. You just never know who's going to see this and be like, oh my word, I didn't know, but there was this one day when I saw this and this and this. You just never know. Some things might stand out to them and they're like, you know, I've always wanted to tell someone this. So yes, please call those tip lines. Please tell them. Yes, A. Heinemann says, was she the only person parked there? Weird. Apparently so, yes. Not a normal parking spot. So then, they said, I made the side eye there as well. We had 2 odd sightings of, okay, this was a neighbor now. Okay, so now we moving on to the afternoon when Terri's back home, okay? A neighbor says, we had 2 odd sightings of a vehicle on our road Friday, Kelly said. Around 3 p.m., he and a neighbor reported seeing a white pickup truck with a female driver pull up to the end of the long road, idle and then turn around. And then again at 2 a.m. Saturday morning, a similar white pickup truck appeared, idled, and when a neighbor loosed her dogs, eased away. A, it was strange to have a car there, any car that we didn't know, and B, it was strange to have a vehicle come down our dead-end road twice in the same day. Hours after a little boy goes missing, said Kelly. That's beyond rare. Kelly said authorities have twice searched the deep ravine, creek, and railroad tracks located near the end of his street by air and on foot. I'm not 100% sure exactly where that location is, but that is odd. They're like, whoa. So this white truck is very interesting on the day. And see, that's like one of those jog your memory and like, man, on that day I remember seeing this. And then the detectives can work with that. Welcome, Evie, to membership. Dawn says, why not in the school parking lot? Getting her steps in. Yes, she was getting her steps in before the drive around and then going to the gym, right? To not gym. So Jackie Young says, I really don't get why they don't just arrest her, interrogate her, and Dede, infer Dede will be an accessory to the fact if she doesn't spill the beans. Well, a lot of that has already been done, meaning grand jury indictments. We're going to go over the documents as well, with the depositions of Dede. She pleaded the fifth to 143 of the questions asked. And it's unfortunately not that simple, because the last thing you want is to go to trial in front of a jury that when there's just circumstantial evidence and nothing solid, right? Yet. I still say yet, because it does feel like this case, it's going to get solved. Oh, I really hope so. But I have a good feeling about it. What about you? I know feelings are just feelings, but gut feel is like, whew, I just feel like this, it's like they're this close, right? Welcome to membership, Deadly Angel. And, sorry, I'm just looking here. Melody says, wonder if cadaver dogs were used on the truck. I wonder, I do think they did use cadaver dogs and tracker dogs and drones and search and rescue, just everything, every resource possible in the search for Kyron, and especially in all this time, but definitely in the initial phases too. They're still searching. But interesting question, yes. Suzanne Salvatore, thank you so much. That's so cute. Thank you for your $4 super sticker. Yes, and that's the thing. Mrs. Angel says harder to convict without a body. I mean, really, it's possible because Letitia Stowe was arrested and charged with murder before they found Gannon Stowe's body. Lori Bello Daybell arrested before they found her children's bodies. So it is possible. It just makes it that much more solid when they do find, though. I hope they find Kyron alive, but I understand, it's been a long time, and most people in true crime would be like, well, even if, worst case scenario, yes, you find his remains, I hope then they find his remains. Whatever it is, I hope they find the answers, right? So, they said searches started around the school and expanded to Sarvey Island by June 11th, 2010. So we'll look why Sarvey Island as well. We have to look at the map for that. So maybe we should do that before I continue with this. So wait. I think I've only got a few more slides here. So let's finish the presentation, then we'll do the map time, okay? I hope you've been paying attention. Now, this is a pure speculation page. I just thought it was a little bit interesting, the timing. That Dede, the friend, who was unaccounted for at the job, which can happen in any job. Devil's advocate, it can happen. You know, a lot of people don't believe she had anything to do with this. Some people think that she helped. Some people think she definitely had something to do with it. I'm not sure where you are on that page. We're like, what do you think? But the point is, someone there said, look at it's a Ford F250. In August of 2009, someone said, new car? Yep, my brother's. Can't wait to go for a ride. Love the truck. That's really nice. Oh, is that a car blocking the view of that truck? Lol. Truck? That's not a truck. Nor is that a car. Those are testosterone on wheels. And Dede said, that truck is really nice, brand spanking new, fully loaded. The only thing it doesn't have is AC seats. He has a hard time choosing whether to drive it or the vet. Okay? Point is, you know, like the two Elantras in the Idaho? I'm like, are there two Ford F250s? I just find it interesting that she had a connection, a brother who had a car just like that as well. That's pure speculation. Okay, now, very interesting, okay? 5 months before Kyron's disappearance, and Terri, of course, denies all this. She says it's absolute bullcrap, and she says the landscaper was really into her, and this is just his revenge. It's like an Eduardo story, right? But this guy actually existed. So, well, actually, so did Eduardo. Anyway, moving on. Terri hired a landscaper, Mr. Rodolfo Sanchez, in 2008. Kaine did not know that he was doing work on the property. And we also don't know what kind of work, because they said the yard was mostly sand. You know? So, okay. What kind of yard work was he doing? Approximately Jan or Feb of 2010, Terri invited Mr. Sanchez to a restaurant. Which is a bit odd to invite your landscaper to a restaurant. But like, let's go for a meal. And says Dede had access to another vehicle. Possibly, yes. Welcome, Dominic Bliss, to membership. So then, she told him that Kaine was abusive and asked for him to help her find someone get rid of him. Motive? She said she had this fear that Kaine was going to take, sorry, and I'll put the name there, Kay, their daughter, Kay, from her. Terri told him all about Kaine's schedule and said that he always had about $10,000 cash on him and also a computer, and it would be really easy to make it look like a mugging. Okay? I do think Eduardo's name, was it also Sanchez? I don't know. Now, let me just quickly show you this. Okay, so there's literal legal documents related to this. This guy said all this in front of a judge. It's not just hearsay or like, oh man, you know what she did? No, he's like, he came forward with this. Like, okay, I have to tell someone this. So they say, let me just read this quickly. Okay, on November 11, 2013, petitioner's attorney was finally able to take the deposition of Rodolfo Sanchez, a landscaper. Based on that deposition, there's an even greater safety risk to Kiara. In summary, approximately 5 months before the June 4th, 2010 disappearance of Kyron Horman, petitioner's son, the respondent solicited the help of Mr. Rodolfo Sanchez to murder the petitioner. And wait, if you think this is hectic, she's done it before, you guys, in 1990. An ex-boyfriend, he was only 18 at the time and she was 20. And she had organized a murder for hire situation to take him out. He survived it. They were sitting in a park eating Chinese food. Some mugger arrived and she said, he's here for you. And then the murder for hire dude ran away and boyfriend broke up with her and was like, what the hell? But she's done it before, okay? Allegedly. So then, they say, the respondent, Mr. Sanchez, testified as follows. The respondent hired him, so Terri hired him to perform landscaping work in 2008 on the marital property. The petitioner was not aware that Mr. Sanchez was doing work on the property, so that's Kaine. Terri kept that fact secret from the petitioner. What a weird thing to keep secret. I mean, you know, like what, why? Okay, so 5 months before Kyron Horman's disappearance, the respondent invited Mr. Sanchez to a restaurant. Kay, an infant at the time, was present. She takes her baby girl with her. Wait. Okay, an infant, was present, okay? Respondent told Mr. Sanchez that petitioner was abusive, which petitioner categorically denies, and asked Mr. Sanchez to help her find someone to get rid of petitioner. When asked why, the respondent stated the petitioner would take Kay from her unless she got rid of the petitioner. So, Rosa, Letitia vibes all day long. I know, right? Big time Trinity. It's really hectic. Oh my gosh. So, Pink Diamond said, did she have life insurance on Kyron? I would love to know as well. People do want to know, where did she get $350,000 to lawyer up the way she did? But apparently she got it from her parents. Okay, so we'll look at her whole background tomorrow. Like, who is she? Where's she from? Who's her parents? What's her background? Criminal records? All the red flags. Okay, so here we go. They say, 5 months before, right, to get rid of Kaine. When asked why, she said that Kaine would take Kay from her unless she got rid of him. The respondent told Mr. Sanchez of her plan. The respondent told Mr. Sanchez of the petitioner's schedule, that the petitioner always carried cash of $10,000, which he's also like, no, I didn't. No. But okay. Always, so probably just saying that as well, just lying all around, which petitioner denies, and a computer. And Mr. Sanchez turned her offer down. Now, this face, I'm like, whoa. She looks very different all the time, huh? Very different in many photos. This is quite a scary one. And this is after the fact. Mugshots from later. There's quite a array of mugshots to see as well. So anyone who wants to, I don't know, you're entitled to your opinion, but come along and be like, she's innocent, she's a wonderful woman. I don't know about that. It's quite a criminal record as well. Stealing cars, stealing guns, domestic violence, last person to see a missing child alive. Okay, so the evening before Kyron disappeared, Kaine said that the couple fought a lot. He kept this to himself for a while. Now, are those the red flags of living with a DV aggressor? Possibly. I spotted a little bit there. It could be that he was like so embarrassed. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Or so like, I'm just speculating why he would have kept that to himself. Like, he knew this is like, oh man. He knows obviously a lot more about her, even though a lot of things afterwards gave him quite the fright of like, she did what? And he divorced her so quickly, right? But anyway, he kept this to himself for a while, including not telling the police about it, not telling Desiree about it. And later he's like, you know what? We actually fought a lot that night. And she was saying, tomorrow, I'm out. I'm leaving. So that is important to consider in the timeline as well. Welcome, Kristen Pino, to membership. Yes. Dr. McDreamy says she looks terrifying. Yes, Stefan says, I understand that Rodolfo didn't want to work for her. Indeed. So then, Terri had emailed a friend saying that she planned to leave Kaine and her marriage the next day and would take their daughter with her. Terri, of course, denies all of this. So her cell phone pinged, by the way. You know the drive around she did with her daughter that day? It pinged in a place called Sarvey Island. She denies that too. But I don't know how you can deny that when the police are like, yeah, it pinged there and they're searching there. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars searching for Kyron in areas that they've honed in on, and she's like, I was just like never there. I mean, when, dare I say, AWP went there to Sarvey Island, they went there because they got a tip that Terri was seen there with a tire, like rolling a tire into the water. Now that is just a tip that they got, and they went to the water and everything. They didn't find anything besides like months before a little like wagon thingy, like a child's wagon thing. But that was months before. Okay. So interesting. But I mean months before when they searched, not months before when Kyron went missing. Just to make that clear. The thing is, she likes to just say, no, she denies it, absolutely incorrect, that just never happened. But how can it just like never happen? Your cell phone pinged there. So moving on here, she says she didn't send any of those emails. She denies the whole landscaper thing. She says that he was inappropriate. The landscaper arrived at her house, wearing cologne. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not trying to pull an Iguardo over here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch the Letitia Stark trial, okay? That was quite the epic trial to be like watching everything that unfolded, my word. But she said he smelled like cologne and he was like making moves on her and being inappropriate, and she just wasn't for it. And because of the rejection now, he's saying all those things. Anyway, so on June 4th, 2010, Kyron was taken to school by Terri in Kaine's truck and he was never seen again. Terri says that her and Kaine continued to have a sexual relationship until June 26th, when he learned of the murder for hire plot, grabbed, they say Kayla in the book because they changed her name, Kayla, and left the house, their daughter, and left the house. When he found out about the murder for hire plot, he's like, my life's in danger, our daughter's life's in danger, he's heading out. So he left the home. Now, we got to consider, what does she do? What does she do? Is she crying on the floor? Is she devastated? Is she alone? No, she moves her friend Dede in. She's like, come and stay, girl. So, and they were allegedly having some kind of, I don't know, sexual something. There's a lot of that theme as well. You know, like Letitia making up Iguardo, wanting to SAO. But in this scenario, there's actually like sexting and things going on. That's what we're going to look at afterwards in the members only stream. I first want to do it there because I will not be able to hold back the snark on those text messages. It's so hectic, you guys, oh my word. So that's odd as well to be like, yep, we continue to have a sexual relation. Why do you need to say that? Like, who are you? You're trying to rub salt in which wound? What are you trying to do? So annoying. So anyway, they say the fact that their daughter has no relationship with Terri. This is from another court document. I'm just showing you snippets of it. Otherwise, we'll be here all day reading documents as well. They said the fact that the daughter has no relationship with the respondent is the direct consequence of the respondent's decision to exercise her rights against self-incrimination instead of her parenting rights. Please know, okay? She had a son of her own from her first marriage. Her second husband adopted that son. Third husband was Kaine. Initially, this son was 16 years old and living in the house. Kaine, Terri, Kyron, Jay, I'm going to call him, her 16-year-old son, and then the infant, right? The little girl in the house. She kicked her 16-year-old out. There's a little old, I've been digging, you guys. Oh, you are there for it. You don't want to miss that. Kyron Horman's World Soldiers, the snark. Oh, welcome to the snark of those text messages. You're going to love it. The thing is, she kicks her own son out and makes as if it's because, Kaine and him are not getting along. But meanwhile, there's this really old little clip, okay, that I've seen of him somewhere in the trenches on Facebook where he says, oh, absolutely, she's the one who kicked me out. We just weren't really getting along. So that's interesting. She kicked her own son out. And then she walked away from her daughter and never looked back. She wants to exercise her rights against self-incrimination rather than exercise her parental rights. Didn't fight for custody. Didn't fight for her daughter. Nothing like that. Okay? You're saying, who's Kayla? So the daughter's name is Kiara. As you say, I say Kay because I want to protect her name, but now it is here on the court document. Sorry about that. The thing is, in the book Boy Missing by Rebecca Morris respectfully changed the names of minors too. So you'll hear in the book, don't get confused, when she says John, it's actually Jay, Terry's son. Colleen Whitmore, welcome. Welcome to all the new members. Okay, so we're all following. We still got clips to look at and do map time. And then this is only episode 1. And as in, like, this is a series because you can see. And trust me, you think this is everything? This is only the beginning. Rich Guion, thank you for being a member for 2 months. So just think of that. Consider that when you're like, I don't know. Some people want to feel real sorry for Terri. And I'm not sure why. Because she kicked out her own son. She wants no relationship with him. She walks away from her own daughter. A tiny little girl. Gone. And then Kyron, she's the last person to see him alive. Like, where's he? What happened to him? Not at the press conferences. Not concerned. She's making tuna casseroles. She's making coffee cake when it's like the day he goes missing. And what does she do on the day he goes missing? Washes his backpack and jacket. Okay then, you really want to help, right? That is not helpful. So now just a quick interesting little bit I found. Again, in the trenches, right? Dede and Mr. Sanchez are described as Terri's love interests. Dede moved in with Terri and after Kaine moved out. So Kaine left because he's like, oh my word, murder for hire? Yeah, I'm out. Okay, protecting their daughter and himself, he's out. BlinkOnCrime.com reported that Mr. Sanchez did some landscaping work for one of Dede's friends. Remember that Dede worked at a gardening place? So they say Mr. Sanchez did some landscaping work for one of Dede's friends, Jean Ann van Kreveling. Very Dutch sounding surname. I'm in the Netherlands, as you know. Holland, if you didn't know. Not New Zealand, the Netherlands. Holland. Okay, where all the tulips are. Yes, lots of rain as well. But they say, on a few occasions, he did some landscaping work at this place, leaving positive reviews on a server site that deleted his business on June 21st, 2010. That's a quick delete. I don't know why. But the point is, on June 21st, and this murder for hire thing was only on, what, June 26th? This, to me, the fact that they all know each other and connected is very interesting to me. I don't know what it means yet. But I'm like, interesting. Don't even pretend not to know each other. Okay, you all know each other. And what does that mean? Really, it doesn't have to mean anything. But I do remember, at some point, Dede was like, no, she wouldn't even answer the question if she knew Kyron. You know? In her deposition, she pleaded the fifth for 143 times. Imagine saying, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. All of that 143 times. So she wouldn't even say she knew Kyron, but yet she slipped up in the beginning. And people take screenshots and they remember. She either DM'd a person or made a comment on a post. Can't remember which one it is, but she said, oh my word, this is my friend Terri's stepson or son, I think she said. Wow, he's missing? And they're like, wow, you know him? She's like, yeah. But then afterwards, she's like, no idea. No clue. Wow. Okay. So, take what you will from that. I'm just like, oh, you all knew each other. Okay. Here's, you can see, it's like an old website. They say doppelganger, organic gardener, jilted girlfriend, and support network for Terri Hormon. Up until a few weeks ago, she was also very much the object of accusation by Desiree Young and Kyron Horman, as well as the investigators assigned to Kyron's case. So just remember, the investigators put out a flyer to look for anyone with information. Did you see these two, or any one of them, and that white truck at the school, or where, right? So then they say, so much so that they released a flyer featuring the ginger ladies and the infamous white truck. Law enforcement has subsequently backed off Spicher and publicly stated that they do not believe it was her in the white truck in the lot. So keep that in mind as well. They backed off and they say, okay, we don't believe it was her in the truck. Because they think that there may have been another adult in the truck while Terri was in the school. Okay, so that's where that all came from. Dede's father is a semi-retired Klamath County Sheriff's deputy. If it can be confirmed that Spicher knew Kyron was missing on June 4th, we have a very big problem. BlinkOnCrime.com is in receipt of a private post through a mutual friend. Here's what I was talking about, yes. In response to an article. So a private post through a mutual friend of Dede's in response to an article about Kyron's disappearance from the school. And this was on June the 4th at 11:40 p.m. Spicher responded on June the 5th at 7:44 a.m. Holy crap, I know this boy. Mutual friend. No way, really, Dede? Yes, my friend Terri is the stepmother mentioned in the article. It's so shocking when something like this hits close to home, or so close to home. Now, Dede describes herself as a fitness junkie, a med school, this is on Facebook, right? A med school wannabe, pet sitting veteran, HOA board survivor, and worm herder. Okay, so we got that. Worm herder. Sometimes the mods have to do that. Yes, okay. So then, Dede's boyfriend, and this is from August 2009, the same time that her brother got that white Ford F250, which doesn't have to mean anything, but I'm just like, interesting. Making notes over here. Dede's boyfriend said that her personality completely changed when she lost a receptionist job at Quadrep Northwest. She told her boyfriend that if it did not work out with him, he would be the last man that she ever dated. So she'd be done with men after that. I think then the next would be like Terri, maybe. Okay, so her boyfriend said that he was, that she was emotionally gullible. Also important to note. Now, remember Kyron's stepdad, Tony, the detective? He said that he doesn't personally believe that Dede is involved because being emotionally gullible and just being how she is, she may have spoken by now. So he thinks that if Terri is involved in Kyron's disappearance, that she would have acted alone rather than risk someone cracking and talking about it. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's some food for thought. So they say her condo, garden property, and aunt's property was searched. So they didn't just think, oh man, she's just a little bit sus, I don't know, let's just put her on a flyer and see. They literally thoroughly searched her condo, garden property, and her aunt's property as well. So that's interesting. Okay, we're almost done with the presentation. I told you it's a deep dive. Quick recap here. On June 11th of 2010, there was a press conference held 1 week after Kyron's disappearance. We're going to look at that. It's really, can't help but say, cringy to see Terri hanging on Desiree, like crying on her shoulder and looking up at her. Just, oh no, you'll see. If you haven't seen it, you'll see. Okay, June 28th, 2010, Kaine, so June 28th, right? Kaine filed for divorce after learning about the murder for hire plot and got a restraining order against Terri. Yes, he didn't just divorce and run for his life, like, oh my word, this woman is dangerous. He got a restraining order against her. He grabbed his things and his daughter and left. Terri invited Dede to stay with her. She stayed for 11 days, and it is alleged that they only communicated in the backyard because they thought the home was bugged, or using burner phones. And yeah, not just making up burner phones. It was later like proven at this grand jury indictment where they interviewed a whole bunch of Terri's friends. They also talked to, they testified. They say that Dede was not questioned, but it was a grand jury indictment, right? So presenting the evidence. And in this grand jury indictment, they talked about these burner phones, which we'll get to as well. So that's not just rumor. They actually existed, which is quite odd. So they say they talked in the garden because they were scared the home was bugged, which is already a red flag. But then also they would talk to each other on burner phones. And then on June 30th already, Terri started a sexting relationship with one of Kaine's friends from high school. And that's what we're going to read through in the members only stream right after this, because we've got the text. Do we want to see it though? You better buckle up. It's not too graphic, or it's just actually kind of funny. But anyway, moving on. July 14th, 2010, Kyron's case is officially a criminal investigation. So it is a criminal investigation. July 26th, 2010, Dede Spicher is called in front of an investigative grand jury, but not questioned. So there's that. She lawyered up as well, which they say, if you're so innocent, why are you lawyering up like that too? But maybe she's just being smart and protecting herself. July 27, 2010, the reward was doubled to $50,000 for information leading them to finding Kyron. Chief Deputy Tim Moore of the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said. And it's still at $50,000. August 2010, there was a grand jury hearing. And they said they are yet to provide compelling evidence yielding a potential indictment. Yes, you need your buckles. Welcome. I'm not T-Pain. I got my buckles on, G. I'm prepared. You ready for that member stream? Okay. Another friend. Now, this was interesting. Listen to this. Another friend, not Dede, admitted to buying two burner phones to communicate with Terri and Dede, because, Dede had stayed at the house, using a fake name. So she went to the store. I think it was called Lloyd's. She went to the store. This other friend, they didn't name her from what I saw. Okay, she bought 2 burner phones using a fake name so she could have one and they could have one and they could communicate. But here's what's odd, okay? Additionally, they say it was confirmed that Dede bought 1 burner phone as well. Now, how was that next burner phone bought? So this lady buys 2 of them. And the very next day, thank you, Joanne, for your support. They say, but what remains unclear is why 2 additional prepaid phones were purchased at another store in downtown Portland the next day under the same fake name used at the Lloyd Center. The friend says she knows those phones were paid for in cash, but says she did not make the purchase. which tells me that that they use this friend is what it tells me. They're like, you go and set up a fake name. What is it going to be? What's it going to be? So she goes, sets up a fake name, and she's like, tee-hee, I got the phones. And as soon as they know about the fake name, they know which store and that she set it up, they go and do the same thing. They go the next day to also buy more burner phones. Oh my goodness. It feels like this is a crazy, crazy ride, this case, right? Wow. November 2010, they said they'd spent $1.4 million in searches, and there were 4,257 tips. Tips are still coming in. They are still searching. And if you want to help out, there's Venmo, there's everything is in the description box. There's a GoFundMe if you want to help out with private investigative funds and things like that, because they're still searching. The case is still active. It's being investigated still, right? So they said by May 2017, it was reported that a grand jury had actually convened on multiple occasions. Now, why are they doing all of this? Why? Why don't they just arrest? Because they can't. That needs to be a case of, you can't, you know, the whole double jeopardy thing. Have you guys ever seen that movie? I love that movie. But the point is, you can't risk it being a Casey Anthony case. You know, and a no body case is even more critical to make sure that, are you ready to go to trial? But man, when they are ready to go to trial, consider yourself ready for trial. Are you ready for trial, you guys? Okay. Yes, okay, so, oh, wow, interesting. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says not only did she lawyer up, she lawyered up with the best criminal defense attorney in Oregon. This is the thing. Like, they are styling, you know, like, meaning, I'm not trying to compliment them. I'm saying Terri and Dede are like, we're lawyering up. We're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars putting on our shades. We are lawyering up with the best. Like, why? Why are you feeling so guilty, though? Okay, so here we go. I've made a collection of some of the red flags. And these are just ones that I literally thought of off the top of my head after everything that I'd made in this presentation. There's many more, okay? Welcome, Taylor. Red flag. 2, murder for hire plots. We're going to look at the other one from 1990 tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow we peel back the layers and we're like, who is Terri? Who is this person? What's her background? Where'd she come from? Like, what were those marriages like? What has she been charged with before? What's going on, right? Just to know. We need to be informed, okay? Ready for trial. So the next one, an affair with a man whose wife was pregnant. And she loves to throw the cheating card out with her first husband. She's like, it wasn't working out. She had a son with him. But she's like, he's cheating. And he's like, she's cheating. And I don't know. Who do you think was cheating? Maybe they were both cheating. But I'm like, So she was having an affair with a man whose wife was pregnant. 4 months pregnant at the time. And throughout. And then when they got divorced, she's like, whoo, move right in. Let me help out. Let me help out with the kids. Like, wow. Okay. And then another red flag is there was no reason to take Kyron to school in Kaine's truck that day. And she was very vague about the doctor's appointment, confusing everyone if it was that Friday or the Friday after. And she goes back and forth between those. Another one is that she parked far from the school entrance and the store entrances. Okay. Another one is that she's denying that her cell phone pinged on Savi Island. The timeline has gaps. And taking her daughter to daycare at the gym right after driving around with an ear infection. Another one, Terri washed Kyron's jacket and backpack within 12 hours of his disappearance. So when they went back to the school, that's when they got the backpack and the jacket, right? In case you're wondering when. Because I was like, wait, when did they get that? When they went after not making the 911 call and hearing from the bus driver, he was absent. He was marked absent. You better call the school. They went there. They got the backpack and jacket. Then another red flag, that she was upbeat and offering casserole and cake when Desiree and Tony arrived. She failed 2 polygraph tests and walked out on a third. So she failed one, walked out on one, and failed another. She began a relationship with one of Kaine's friends. And it was very inappropriate. And she said she only did it to get back at Kaine because he was doing the same thing. But you'll see when we go over the text, it's not just playing pretend. Like, you were in it. You were making sexual threats. Oh no, you don't want to hear all those words. But we're gonna read through it. Welcome, Amy. So then another one is that she began a relationship with one of Kaine's friends, and then also that she had $350,000 selling to pay for an attorney. Apparently, though, that's from her parents. So I don't know how they got that, right? Yes, Shindog City says red flags should be weighed for their probative value versus their prejudicial effect, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what else do I have here. I think this is now when we go. Yeah, this is for tomorrow. Sneak peek. You got a sneak peek there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, let me quickly show you this book. Wait. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you just what it looks like so you can see it. This is the book, okay? Boy Missing, The Search for Kyron Horman. Kindle edition. I got the Kindle, okay? You can see I purchased it. It says the 17th. Yesterday, the Kindle. Before that, the audiobook. I have all of it. Get them all. So if you want to get lots of facts all in one place, I would recommend Rebecca Morris's book. And then, now, what time is it, you guys? It's map time. That's what time it is. Are you ready? Then we're going to look at video clips after that, okay? Map time first. Okay, and we are back. Time to look at that map. So, let's make sure we make it nice and big for you guys. You might be wondering, why is she over Europe? I just quickly wanted to show you where I'm at, because most people don't actually seem to know. Okay. Yeah, that should be good. Alright. So, this is Europe, and here's France, you see, and here's the Netherlands. I mean, the Netherlands. Yes, indeed, that's where I'm at. Barcelona, Paris, Netherlands. That's where I'm at. Now we're going to fly all the way this way. Wait, we got to zoom out so you can see it nicely. Now we're going all the way this way to Portland, Oregon. In we go. And we've got many points. I've made a whole little route. I know you guys say route, but route for you. All right, look at that. Okay. You're like, Miss G in space. Yes. Okay, so now we start the day of June 4th, 2010. It's Sheltered Nook Road. This is where Terri lived with Kaine, Kyron. She'd already kicked her son out. He was camping at the time with his dad. So, just in case you're wondering as well, was he checked? Was he checked? He was. Everyone was checked. Believe me, if you go down this rabbit hole, everybody been checked. Okay, the only one everyone's still glaring at really is Terri. It's just how it is. Thank you, Dr. McDreamy, for waving. So yes, and to everyone in the UK, just across the pond. So this is the home, right? So Terri, Kaine, Kyron, Jay is her son is no longer there. She kicked him out. And then also Kay, the little girl who was living there. So she goes from her home to the school, traveling southward over here. Wait, where's the school? Sorry about that. School. I'm sure it's somewhere close here, isn't it? Well, now you're driving with me. We're exploring Portland, Oregon. Just wait. Ah, okay. Why not there anymore? No wonder. Skyline School. From there. Okay, we're back there. There we go. I'm like, well, something's missing here. It wasn't that far. Okay, so from the house to the school. And she goes there. And they arrive, her and Kyron and her little daughter that she's got, sometime after 8. Now let me show you where she parked. I was trying to keep it so polite. Okay, if we go here, the Google man doesn't want to go in there. He doesn't want to go in here. But normally you might park over here, far-ish away. Or you could go around this corner and park there, like a normal person. Sorry about that. Welcome. Welcome TT Happy Rock. So, but she did not park there. In fact, if you go this way, you will see where she parked. Remember this gravel road? And there's this embankment. So if we go just a little bit this way. She parked around here. Around here. Just... Some even said they saw her on the gravel road. But the gardener, I believe, said no, they would have noticed. So just go this way a bit. Sorry. We drive. Buckle up. Stefan, are you telling everyone to buckle up? Stefan always warns you guys, buckle up. So right around here. Parking here. For no real reason. I know there were a lot of people there at the school that day. But people noticed this car parked there because it was odd. Yes, and then, so they go there. And there's witnesses seeing her leave with Kyron and her daughter. Walking out and leaving at 8:50. Where does she go then? After that, she goes southward. And now she's going to a Fred Meyer store. Right here. And she's popping in there and she's like, oh my word, they're all sold out. I'm sure it was Tylenol. Was it? I'll have a look at the comments. But... oh, wow. Oh, yes. I saw the name. Okay, Portland. Sorry. Just to be distracted for a second. Dede's attorney was Stephen A. Hauser. I remember seeing that name. I think it was in the book as well. Boy missing. Or she lawyered up. So the thing is, I think it was Tylenol, but she went to get medication there for her daughter's, struggling with her ear. And then... she goes here and she's like, wow, they are all sold out. I better go to another Fred Meyer. Interesting random fact is that I think it was her first husband. I can't remember if it's her first or second. One of them she met at a Fred Meyer store. I don't know which one. But he worked there. So I'm like, man, she likes Fred Meyer stores a lot, huh? So she went there. Sorry for zooming in and out a lot. Sometimes that makes me dizzy when people do that. Then I get mad. I know, right? Stefan, where's the Walmart at? We are yet to know if there's a Walmart in this case. In fact, that's what they need to check, right? Okay. So going from home, Sheltered Nook Road. She chose the home, by the way. And I say that also, yes, to compare to you-know-who, Letitia. Letitia also chose her home, remember? Now, I know it could be like a woman thing to do. Like, I'm going to... thank you so much. Oh, Terry's attorney. Okay, thank you so much. Like, maybe she's like, maybe women would just choose the home, But... in both these cases, which have some differences, but so many similarities, it's like she chose the home, right? And then Kyron disappeared from it. Letitia chose the home, Gannon disappeared. Remember all that? That's what I'm trying to say. Stephen Hauser is Terry's attorney. Thank you so much. All right. So she goes from there to the school, then to Fred Meyer. And she says she's just with her daughter, right? She can't find what she's looking for there, so she goes to another Fred Meyer. Down the road. Eastward. She goes here. When she's here, she says that she goes not only to the Fred Meyer store, but also to a dry cleaner and a craft store. She apparently drops off 2 shirts at the dry cleaner. Then, she goes to the gym. No, wait. Then she drives around. She only goes to the gym. Remember, she's clocking in at 12:20 is what the gym says. She says 11:39. Okay, so from 9... did you guys listen? I'm quizzing you now. What time does she leave the second Fred Meyer? She goes from there and takes a long-ass drive. So she's going northward. Now, why do we know this? Why are we saying this? Firstly, they searched this entire area a lot, including Sarvey Island here. But mainly, her phone pinged in Sarvey Island. She says absolutely not, that's incorrect. I don't know how she can dispute that because the police are like, her phone pinged there, which is why they searched there, which is why AWP went there too. AWP, when they were still they're still AWP, but you know what I mean. They went there and searched the water for clues. Even though they mostly look for cars, they actually found a car on that search, but it was unrelated, right? They did not find Kyron. Wow. PJ and DC says when Kyron went missing, there were no Walmarts in Portland, and then they put a few in Portland, and they just recently all closed. Oh no. Oh my word. Okay, Portland is not loving Walmart. Okay. Yeah, I'm not T-Pain says this feels like a trick question. Checking if you were listening or not. It's pop quiz time. So she first takes this long drive for about an hour and a half, right? Driving this way. Now, that friend, this is the farm, this northwest. Oh, no, this is not the farm. This is not the farm. Stand by. The farm is, here we go. 13,000 Northwest Old Germantown Road. Remember Dede? That was unaccounted for at her job? In the exact time that Terri's botching her timeline? And that Kyron's missing? Yeah. This is where it is. So is it plausible? Is it plausible that she could have gone this way and, like, I don't know, picked up a friend or talked to a friend or done something? To me, it could be Maptime plausible. Now, as the detective said, they've backed off from Dede. I just find it interesting how much she lawyered up and how she will not answer any questions at all. And maybe she just doesn't want to be involved. Sure. But I'm just looking at the route and I'm like, it's quite interesting. Welcome, Flocko and Otto. So she drives from that. So think about it. Here's the 24-hour fitness gym because she's going to return to that. Okay. She goes from the house to the school, to the Fred Meyer, to another Fred Meyer. Then takes a long drive. And this reason for the drive, she says, is to soothe her daughter who's struggling with earache. That's what she does this drive for. Just randomly driving around. Okay, cool. Says she was never there, right? Cell phone pings there. Drives back. And then she goes back to the gym. Here she says she arrived at the gym at 11:39. The gym says she clocked in at 12:20. And she apparently put her daughter in daycare for 15 minutes. She left somewhere around 12:45, but she says she got home at 12:45, which we can obviously see. She only got there. The gym says she clocked in at 12:20. So, okay. I don't know how long she was really there, but it seems like quick. It could just be, an alibi clock in. And she said she didn't work out because people may have asked, well, then why weren't you sweaty? Or why weren't you this? Or what were you wearing? And she's like, I didn't even work out. I just talked to a lady I don't normally talk to. And then from there, she went back home. This is the drive she did. And they've searched so much of this area. Imagine it. Look at it. Just look at the area. There's so many, it's hilly, there's ravines, there's so much water. Really treacherous, right? Yeah, Crime Mom says, driving doesn't soothe infant earache. Just doesn't feel like it could. It doesn't seem, but not only that. Let's say if it does or doesn't, to then say, I'm going to soothe her earache and then just drop her off at daycare at the gym while I talk to someone that I barely know. It's like a bit odd, right? There we go. Thank you so much. Kyron says, Kyron Hormon's World Soldier says, so please subscribe over here, you guys. And you can also follow the Kyron Hormon's World Soldiers Facebook page. All the links, everything is in the description box. So you've asked a couple of times if it's Tylenol or not. It was Motrin. Sorry for the late response. Thank you so much. I don't think we have Tylenol in the Netherlands. It's not something we have. I don't think so. Anyway, my point is, that's why I'm like, is it Tylenol or what? Motrin. Okay. Thank you. Oh, yeah. 15 minutes at the gym to chitty chat to somebody and be like, you see this photo right here? I took it. You see it? You see Kyron at his science fair project? Yep, I took that. That was basically what she's doing there. And then she went home. And do you guys remember what she did when she got home? Oh, it's time for Facebook. Time to upload that picture to Facebook. Then it's time to email Desiree twice. So, yes, this is the Maptime, and you can see why they've used every resource imaginable and why they've racked up more than $1.4 million in search costs, because can you imagine it, searching this whole area? Quite something. Thank you so much. Janice Burns says 162K. Amazing. Thank you so much, and welcome to all the new faces around here. Lots of new subscribers. Who are all of you guys? Nice to meet you. I hope you like it over here. If you do, like, share. Remember, with this episode, like, share, hashtag Kyron Horman. Hashtag Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. Also, find Kyron. Could be great too. And Grizzly True Crime if you want. So now you've got the Maptime right. You can see it. That's pretty much what we got for now for Maptime. Now we're going to go and look at some video clips.
Thank you. As you all know, this has been a very, very difficult time for the family of Kyron. And remember, this is the 1 week anniversary, which is very sensitive to us. We very quickly wanted to plan because the family wanted to talk to the news media. They're not prepared to answer any questions, but what I do want to tell you is that after this press conference, if you'd like, please meet in the back here, and we'll have Captain Brosh and Mary Lindstrom, and they'll give you a way to be able to email questions in. We'll make sure the family gets that, and they'll review some of those questions for our next meeting time. And I don't know when that is, but we'll figure that out so they can answer some of your questions, which the family knows is very important. But keep in mind, this is very difficult. Here with me today is Kyron Horman, and would you like me to spell their names? Kaine, Kaine, Horman, Horman, Terri Hormon, Terrirrihorman, Tony Young, Tony Young, and Desiree Young, Desireyung. And remember, they stand together here today as a family. Before I let Tony speak one of the two messages, I want to remind you, if we can get the information out about this is going to be a wonderful weekend. It's supposed to be warm. As you're out there recreating, all our families, keep your prayers and thoughts on our little boy, because you never know the type of information that can come back to us and we can find him. So with that being said, Tony, can you come on down?
Thank you. Hello, my name is Tony Young, and I'm Kyron's stepfather. The family's asked me to speak on their behalf today. I would just like to say, Kyron.
You see what I mean with Terri clutching on her like this?
We miss you, we love you, and we need you home right now. We're doing everything we can to work with law enforcement and the search and the rescue crews to make sure that you can get back to us as soon as possible. We want to say how much we appreciate the outpouring of love and support, prayer and thoughts as we wait for you. Your school friends and their families, the teachers, the staff at your school, and the community as a whole have shown how much impact one little boy's smile can have on a community. You mean everything to us, and until you come home, this family is not complete. Please, Kyron, keep up the hope. We believe in you, and we know you will be back with us soon. I'd like to now introduce
That, oh man, I just feel uncomfortable for Desiree right there.
Kyron's father, Kyron Horman.
Hi, I'm Kaine. I'm Kyron's father. We want to thank the community, the parents, the children, bus drivers, and all of those who are being interviewed multiple times to help find Kyron. Thank you. We as the family know how difficult and stressful this is, but your memories and statements can help us find Kyron. We will never be able to thank you enough for that help. Finally, we would like to thank the media. If it was not for you showing Kyron on every newscast, printing his story in the papers, his face would not be known to everyone. People from around the nation have seen his picture. This helps tremendously. Please help us bring Kyron home.
I do want to thank the Brooks Hill Historic Church here today, because without this little office here, we would not be able to get our story out. And we really appreciate not only all the people out there helping us, but as this church as well. With that being said, the family's going to go ahead and leave, and I will have Captain Brosh and Lieutenant Mary Lindstrom answering to make sure that you're able to get the questions to them. Thank you.
Give us time to get this done, and I'll be there to meet you.
Okay, I've just got a few more clips to show you. Sorry that I'm all small here with a map, but I'm right here. And so let's look at a few more clips for now.
Kaine also believes Terri Hormon, his ex-wife, was involved in Kyron's disappearance. She was at Skyline School with Kyron the morning he disappeared.
There's probably things you know that the public doesn't know, obviously. How do you deal with that anger?
I feel that she's involved. And I think a lot of people feel the same way through the evidence and information that we have, not just through gut feel, but through what we know. Even through her admitted, we've talked about polygraph failures. I mean, she's told us flat out that she failed those tests. I know they're not admissible in court, but in the general discussion of things, they're perfectly admissible. So I kind of left it there. It was, we know there's involvement, we're not going to get any help down that path, and I just kind of left that path alone. And it's always been a focus on, well, what else do we need to go do? Who else do we need to go find? As opposed to stewing on the one avenue. So emotionally, I'd left that behind a long time ago.
We're asking the community's assistance regarding anyone who saw not only Kyron, but also who may have seen Terri Hormon, his stepmother, and or the truck that she was driving, the family truck that she was driving that morning, a white Ford F250. Terri is the last known person to have seen Kyron before he disappeared. We are releasing this information at this time in hope that it helps jog people's memory of that day, as we are 2 weeks from the day that Kyron disappeared. This information is being provided after discussion with the family, and all of the family members have agreed that bringing this information forward is the right thing to do for our investigators. As far as the second canvass is concerned and what that entails, all adults and children that were in the school or on the school grounds, specifically between the hours of 8 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, are asked to complete the questionnaire and provide it back to our office, even if you've already been interviewed. Also, anyone else that we still seek any information from that day, that anybody that can remember that may be helpful to our investigation, any tidbits. We understand that the community has many questions. We can assure you that our primary goal is to not make any mistakes in this case, to be as perfect as we can in investigating this case.
Tracy, investigators are fielding tips from the community one day after they held a news conference. They are trying to track the white truck that Terri Hormon was last seen driving the day Kyron disappeared. The boy vanished from Skyline Elementary on June 4th. Sources also say Terri's best friend, Dede Spicher, left the 40-acre spot she was gardening near the Skyline area for 3 hours while her car never moved. This happened on the day Kyron went missing. Investigators released a flyer to Skyline residents with Dede Spicer's picture on it. A former homicide detective weighs in.
3 people disappear. Kyron Horman, Dede Spicher, and Terri Hormon at the same time period. What does that say to me? Everyone's connected.
Dede Spicer's attorney says it doesn't mean anything, that it was a huge property that she was working on. Plus, he added that Spicer is fully cooperating with authorities.
I get really frustrated with that. I get really frustrated, like a lot of people, with the fact that someone's able to withhold information and get away with it when it comes down to a situation related to a child like this. I mean, that should be inexcusable. I don't. That's my frustration at this point. There should be no adult that should be allowed to impede anything in an investigation related to a child in cases like this or other cases. It's ridiculous. So yeah, frustrated right now.
Is any of your frustration directed toward the investigators and the pace and the progress and how things have,
No, I know that the public is thirsting for an arrest.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is you can make the arrest, but the case has to go through court.
Yeah.
It has to be tried, innocent until proven guilty. Well, they have to make sure that they can prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
So they can go slap the cuffs on and they can take her in, but if they don't have the case, then she's just going to walk off.
Yeah.
So I'm not frustrated at all. I'm glad that they're doing as thorough a job as they are. We talk to them frequently. They are amazing people, and they're doing an awesome job at doing everything they can to make that case solid, so that when it comes to...
Sorry, someone's saying, okay, who's that lady? So here we've got Kaine, Kyron's dad, Desiree, Kyron's mom, and on the right hand side, it's a mugshot of Terri, stepmom. And we'll go over tomorrow when these mugshots were taken.
Time to make the arrest. There's no getting out of it. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no arrest, okay, yeah, is it a little disappointing that the case hasn't come together faster? Sure, but it's got nothing to do with law enforcement. It's got everything to do with how hard the case is to get through. They're doing an awesome job.
People keep looking for that trigger.
And it's more subtle.
Yeah, definitely more subtle. She has that sociopathic way about her. She studies people to know what emotion to use at that moment or any given moment. It's not like she showed outward experiences or emotions. She just was a great actress. I mean, just gave that image to people that she thought they wanted to see.
Kyron's birth parents continue to doubt Terri, and they're holding on to whatever optimism they have left.
We love you, Kyron.
Retired FBI agent George Houston watched the interview with KGW, analyzing Horman's words and body language. He said she didn't show the kind of emotions he'd expect from a mom who'd lost a child she loved.
At some point in going down that mental checklist on someone that you've lost and you love, there is going to be an emotional impact somewhere in that list that's going to break you down. This did not happen.
Never give up hope. We are all coming to get you, to bring you home.
And here's the age progression photo that was just recently shared, because Kyron would be 20 now. Can you imagine it, you guys? I mean, wow, to think this happened on June 4th, 2010. They're still searching. The case is still active. It's unsolved right now, but it will likely not stay that way. So, yes. Mia, you say, when was this interview? Well, there were lots of them, right, that I showed. There's so many of them that I have in those clips. I just took all the best little clips for you, just so that you can also see it's not just like a gut feel or, that I'm just bringing up red flags out of nowhere. Like, everybody can see it. You would be blind not to see it, right? Cadby, welcome to Grizzly $1 supporter. Welcome. So, wow. This must be sad, as I said before, for the family to see this picture. Like, so weird. Like, wait, what? This is what he would look like now? He'd be driving now, And I would encourage you to look at the old press conferences. I've watched, I think, all of them by now. Or I should say almost all of them. Maybe there's one or two I missed. I'm looking. But all those old clips and interviews and things, it's really worth it to dive into, just to see. You can see, firstly, Terri's not there. She's not in them. But year after year, the authenticity of the emotions of Desiree, for example, Kyron's mom, and she will never, ever give up. It's amazing. So I hope that she knows that we've got her back, this community. I'm going to go here. We show her so much love and support. And to all of Kyron Horman's world soldiers, to Stacy, who helps run the Facebook group, the Twitter page, send me so much information. Thank you so, so much. Yes. So, wow. You guys, I hope that this was a good intro to the case. I just want to quickly take this off. Here we go. That was an introduction to the case. I mean, it was a pretty good overview, but tomorrow I'd like to really just go a little bit deeper into, okay, who is Terri? What is the background? Are there any other red flags like that? And then also just connecting a few more dots and also just seeing some more clips, things like that. So let's do that tomorrow. We'll go to layer 2 and we keep going because there's so much information in this case. And if you want a lot of information in one place, I would recommend the book by Rebecca Morris called Boy Missing. Beautifully narrated as well. If you just want to listen to it, there's an audiobook, there's a paperback, there's a Kindle as well, an ebook. So, yes. Okay. Paula says, let's share the hell out of this. Let's. I know. I trust you, Grizzlies. I know that you're going to you're going to share, you're going to get the fire going, I mean, they're already going, but I feel like, as I said earlier, we're the Grizzly Gatorade. It's a marathon, and we're just here to hydrate everyone. Just keep everyone going. Just show them the world is watching. And also for the district attorney, all of law enforcement in Portland, Oregon, in the USA, just to know, yeah, there's a lot of eyes on this case. Worldwide, everybody's watching. The pressure is never off. Everybody's watching, and it's never too late. So because Stacy here from Kyron Horman's World Soldiers she keeps sharing all the time. Kyron's flyer, information. Look here, go there. That's how I learned about the case, because then all of you tweeted me those links, and you're like, look at this, take a look at this. And so thank you so much to Stacy as well for doing that and for making me aware of the case too. So I started my channel actually we're almost there, guys, for another birthday of the channel at the end of June of 2021. So, I mean, I'd never covered this case. I'd only heard of it, but I'd never deep dived. So I'm honored to do that. And I hope that we could just show Kyron's family so much love and support. So, are you guys ready for a member stream? If you are not a member, please do not worry. We will go through some of those texts at some point, or I could release that depending on how snarky we get. And if you are on Patreon, don't worry, because they're two different platforms, right? I will be posting the replay there as soon as it's processed. Sometimes the live stream takes a little bit to process, so maybe tomorrow morning. Luckily, I'm in the Netherlands, so my time zone is like 6 hours ahead of Eastern time, so it's already 10:45 p.m. for me. Yes. So thank you so much. I can see you guys are all fired up. Consider that trial prep series, and I will be so ready for that trial. I'll be so ready. And you? Crime Mime says time to snark it up. Yes, snark o vision, and we're gonna snark it up. So if you don't know what we're doing, if you missed it in the beginning, we're gonna have a members only stream now. It's only $1 to join membership, okay? And remember, YouTube takes like half. So okay, the thing is, we're gonna have that so that we can snark it right up. You can have a little bit of a venting, a little bit of uncensored. We're gonna look at the text messages that Terri had sent to her husband, who left the house, right? To her husband's friend that he knew in high school. She was sexting it up. So we're gonna look at those because it's very snark worthy. So thank you so much, March. Thank you so much, patrons, members, all the new subscribers. My word, you guys are subscribing up a storm. I really appreciate this ever-growing community. I really like it because for me, it's not about like, you know, I don't have meaning to the number, attaching that to like me. But for me, what it means is we have more and more impact, which I really appreciate that so much. You guys are very proactive. I hope that you will check out the description box, okay? And that's actually my pet peeve when people point down like this. I hate that. Anyway, check out the description box. All the links are there. Please go and subscribe to Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. Go and follow the Facebook. There's 2 official Facebook pages to follow. Check out all the links over there and show lots of support. And if you are on Twitter, and follow me there, my handle's @TrueCrimeGizla. I have an impersonator, so make sure you don't follow them. @GrizzlyGizla was my old handle. Impersonator now, okay? They took over and impersonating people. @TrueCrimeGizla, okay? So follow me there and tweet me things like this case. And also, let's retweet Kyron's case a lot. Yorkshire Lass with Class says, member for 1 month. Let's get more traction on this case. Love you, G. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do our very best. And then I will see you again tomorrow. This stream should lead you to that one. I will still be reporting on other cases if there's news or anything like that, okay? But tomorrow we're going to look at another deep dive of this case. We'll do a quick recap of the timeline quickly, okay? Just what happened, who, where, what. Then we're going to look at some other things. So, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye, everyone.